Austin, thanks for the time as always. Since we've last spoken, Tennessee has picked up a commitment from Mike Matthews, which we discussed the idea of last Wednesday. And then Friday, Edwin Spillman, a four-star linebacker from Nashville, chose Tennessee over Ohio State. What was the significance, would you say, collectively and then with those two guys individually with their additions to Tennessee's class?
Well, I think individually, you had a huge piece, in the five-star wide receiver Mike Matthews on the offensive side. Defensively, you're, keeping, one of the better players in the state, at a position of need in linebacker, home, keeping him in state. And I think that's big. And then two, just the momentum, right? I mean, we talked about, July being a big month, and, a few of these, guys have kind of pushed things into, first part of August, but, Tennessee's sitting at 5. We set the over-under at 5.5. I said I took the over. Had a few go against Tennessee that I thought may end up here. But I still think there's a chance, that they get to the over before the calendar turns to August 1st, first of next week.
What is next up for Tennessee in terms of potential commitments or guys that are close to announcing? Kai Bates, the cornerback, has that leaned more LSU recently? What's the latest with him? And then others that are maybe close to making a decision?
Yeah, a lot of the chatter you hear out there is LSU with Kai, and so he'll do something later tonight. But a lot of the chatter you hear is with, the purple and gold. Amari Jefferson will announce next Saturday, August 5th, around 4 o'clock, on the On3 YouTube channel. And that's Tennessee or Alabama. He's going to visit Tennessee Friday, Alabama Saturday, and then work towards a decision. And then, Bennett Warren's the great unknown. He's kind of went silent. He's kind of went, under the radar. To me, that is Tennessee, Michigan. Any chance of him potentially visiting another school like Texas A&M that we talked about in the last few weeks, I think is gone. I think he's going to, come to a decision between those two. And, again, I think that he has a great fondness for Tennessee. I think that a lot of that started, at the LSU game last year where he was on a visit to LSU and kind of got to see Tennessee take over the stadium, watch them blow out the Tigers, and I think it left an impression. And then, he got up here for an official visit at the end of June, and I think Tennessee's had a lot of momentum with him, for the last month. Now, again, you got, other factors in play. I think a few people, around, Bennett have fancied, the academic side at, Michigan and so on and so forth. But, I think Tennessee has done a tremendous job with Bennett Warren, for the last 6 weeks or so, and really made him feel like how, he's important here in Knoxville.
Hey, also, with Mike Matthews, just watching him, physicality, catch radius, big target, and also has run after catch to him. What do you think Tennessee, Kelsey Pope, Coach Heupel, and Coach Housley are most excited about getting him in the fold, what he's going to bring to Neyland Stadium?
Just determined, Kevin. He got a determination, got a drive. Kid wants to be great. Doesn't get caught up in all the stars and all the success and the claim. Just kind of puts his head down and works. And I think they love that about him. They loved him on either side of the ball, Kevin. I remember talking to some people a year ago, and when this is literally like 14 months ago, when his name got brought up, and I said, "What do you like him as?" And they said, "Whatever he wants to play." Because, at that point, there was some recruiting him as a secondary guy, some recruiting him as a receiver. They just saw him as a playmaker. And, very, very few times do you kind of get, I think he's and I would say this if he hadn't picked here, I think that he was the number one overall player on Tennessee's board at any position. I think they thought that highly of him. And to be able to get him in the fold, I thought was big. But Kelsey Pope, man, he's somebody that can play outside, can play inside, can kind of move around, and you're all the things you just run off. He does. He has all that. And again, when you add in the work ethic, I think that's what really takes it over the top.
Austin Price is with us, Volquest. He joins us each week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. What about Spillman? What do you hear about him, a guy that had been a huge priority for Tennessee staff for quite a while, looked at other options, chose Tennessee over Ohio State?
Again, I think that they love his leadership ability. They love that, his best football still is ahead of him. He's still scratching the surface of what he can be. you look at where he's at physically now versus a year and a half ago. I mean, he's at 225 right now, really well put together, and he's smart and intelligent. And, you know, again, I think when you look at what they've done at that position last class with the 3 kids they brought in, specifically Arion Carter, I think they have a lot of high hopes for T. Lander and Jalen Smith too. But, you know, they really like where they've kind of went with that linebacker room. And, you know, to get Edwin Spillman, they already had, you know, Jordan Burns committed in this class. And then they have Chris Cole coming in this weekend, who continues to rocket up the ranks. He kind of put a picture on Twitter of, you know, where he was at the end of last year and where he's at now. And it's pretty drastic. You know, I mean, he's 6'3", 185. Now he's 6'4", 225. I mean, he's put on a ton of weight, and it's like good weight. You know, so like, you know, they really like where they're at with that linebacking position. And it's a big reason why I think, you know Brian Jean-Marie's done such a phenomenal job.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about Cole in terms of just where things stand with him, what fans should know about him and his recruitment. Chris Cole.
Teammate of Peyton Lewis, Vol commit, running back, will visit this weekend. Miami, Georgia, Tennessee, I think are the top 3 for him. Tennessee's got a ton of momentum. They're trying to ride the wave of that momentum heading into this visit. He was here earlier in the year. They tried to get him up in June, just didn't work out. He's coming in this weekend unofficially, and Tennessee hopes to they'll roll out the orange carpet for him, and you know, we'll see what happens. But I think Tennessee's got some momentum there, and if they can ride the wave of it, it may ride them right into a Chris Cole commitment sometime in the month of August. So, you know, to me, the top 2 are Tennessee, Georgia. I think Miami is an X factor, but I think distance ends up playing a factor there. And it's a small feather, but it's still a feather in Tennessee's cap. Is, you know, you can pitch the fact that Peyton Lewis has committed here. Y'all play high school football together, and you look at the parents and say, you know, it'd be nice, you know, where y'all can, you know, carpool down. You know, y'all ride with the Lewis one week, they ride with you the next, or whatever, split the gas, however you want to do it. Either way, getting to the games, it becomes a little more cost-effective for both sides if both Lewis and Cole are wearing orange.
Austin Price, Volquest, did you learn anything last Thursday or anything stand out about what the guys said that were at SEC Media Days? Jacob Warren was there along with Joe Milton, who was one of the biggest topics of the week just himself. Then also Amari Thomas and obviously Josh Heupel. Anything that stood out to you about what they had to say about the offseason or thoughts ahead of camp opening next week?
I think that they're a confident group. It's not a cockiness. I think they just believe in themselves. I think that the fact that you've got some older players, you have 30-plus guys that are going to be seniors. Now, some of them could come back with COVID years, but either way, they're an older team on the whole. And I think there's enough youth and athleticism and talent pushing some of these older guys that they can't kind of just rest on things. And, you know, Joe Milton still got to go out and prove it, but he is carrying himself as someone who has learned, you know, a year or two ago, I didn't know everything like I thought I did. And I've learned that, and I've improved. Now, again, is he going to be perfect? No, but, you know, I do think that he is, you know, dramatically improved from the Joe Milton we saw as Tennessee's number 1, you know, heading into that 2021 season. So, you know, I think there's just a quiet confidence, you know, about this, and you know, we'll see if it translates once the season starts.
Volquest.com, they'll be covering what's happening on the field, keeping up with what's happening in recruiting. On3 also tracks NIL valuation. What would 5-star linebacker Kevin Simon's NIL valuation be today there, Austin? Any idea?
Coming out of high school, he would have made millions. Coming out of high school,
timing's everything.
Kevin Simon would have made a lot of money coming out of De La Salle.
Kevin, would you have preferred I did not ask Austin that question right there?
It just makes you sad, right? Yeah, I was born a little too soon, but you know, it's all good. It's all good.
Volquest.com, read the work. Did I miss anything that I should have brought up recruiting wise before we let you go?
No, best segment we've ever done on the show without Swain.
Oh, Austin, you're too kind.
Didn't I say
Swain knows.
When it was Swain and Simon, I didn't say anything without Josh.
Yeah, Swain knows. You didn't even have to add that without Swain. We could have just left it there hanging out for Swain to figure out the rest of it. Volquest.com. Go read his work, his colleagues' work as well. Austin Price joining us every week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs, making it unique, making it special, making it just for you. They want to be your jeweler at Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Austin, thank you as always, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.